Hey, yo, what's up, Chalk? What's up? If gold can break over this supply at 47, which it looks like it will, we could see a move all the way back up to the highs, 55. I mean, at least a retest of the highs, if not R1. Bulls defended this. Bulls defended this area. Mm, yeah. Now we'll see. Yeah, I copied this trade. Oh shit. Mm, mm. You know what? I'm not gonna watch it. Hey, yo, what's up, Cape Trader? Mm, mm. That would be nice if gold kept going and didn't play around. At least hit that target at 49. At least hit that target. I'll be happy. Okay. Well, we got work to do. We got work to do. We got to talk about this orb on the Nasdaq. The orb was definitely cleaner on the ES as per usual. That should be a surprise to nobody. That was a clean break from the ES. As I look back on it, I I doubted the orb on the ES today. And so remember that trade that I told y'all guys that I was going to I had a limit set. Not only did I not listen to myself about this orb, but I told myself to enter in 2 contracts right here. But I was like, no, I'm just going to enter it in 1 contract. And I was up. I was in at 81.75 and pushed up almost 9-10 points. If I had the 2 contracts, I would have made my maximum daily profit. My account would have closed and I would have been happy. I feel like the irony is about this position was that before I went to the gym, I saw this. And the crazy thing is, price was still up here when I went to the gym. And I was like, you know what's going to hit my target at 94. Because, I mean, of course, why wouldn't the Bulls, at least try to test that breaker structure of the orb? I mean, like, why not? And as I was going to the gym, I was getting stopped out of a winning position. And so that hurt my feelings. And yeah, that wasn't fun at all. So if I was going to trust the orb, I gotta take the orb. I mean, especially if the setup was there. The Nasdaq, not so much, man. Man, shit, we had to probably write like a whole report on this shit, man. Yeah, the Nasdaq was completely nasty with her orb. Rest in peace to any of the Nasdaq traders that tried shorting this thing because man, this thing played around with your emotions before it actually got it. It faked out a couple of times before actually breaking through. All right. Hold on, I didn't get filled yet on this. Mm. I mean, Nasdaq should be the last one because I don't even trade that shit. Mm, okay. Well, I guess if I don't pay attention to it, then it'll fill. That's usually how the market works. All right. Alright, so today is July 7th. All right, so the orbiter. I don't know, man. It's just kind of frustrating. I mean, man. Look, I guess, I guess. I tend not to pay attention to female traders that enter this space just to soak up attention. They're not adding anything to this space. I mean, a monkey can draw a trend line on a chart and trade it. That's not. Um, anyway, it's not adding to it's not adding to the community. It's just another female trader trying to take attention. There's real female traders out there that contributes and actually know how to trade. And then there's people that just try to look cute because they know that the trading community is full of guys that are 9 times out of 10, not necessarily lonely, but loners. And she's just a pretty face to look at. So until she starts adding something to the community, I don't pay attention to it. Especially when they have their cleavage out. Especially when My Funded Future started, everybody had their titties out because they know that all the guys are watching, and then the guy had to calm that shit down because every day titties out, just titties. I mean, that's what girls do. They want attention. Um, I'll pay attention to a real female trader, not girls just looking for attention, not adding to the community at all. Okay. He said the only real female trader on YouTube is Tanya Trades. I think I've seen. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Shit. I haven't seen her in a while, but we have a trader, Mad Moxie, that was with us. She's a great trader. A great trader. Mm, but we all know anyway. All right, so I'm trying to figure out like the best way on how to kind of write this right here because we had the Nasdaq literally break out of this thing about 10 million times. Um, looks like gold is gonna probably break down here. We'll see. I've already taken profits on this. I just got a couple of runners left on this. Gold did all of that and didn't hit. Whatever, man. Whatever. Whatever. For whatever reason, for whatever reason, the market has definitely just been missing my orders. Like I said, I had an order right here on ES, and it straight up missed me by a point. Or I had my limit set at I believe 53.75 at this trend line, and so I missed this by 1, 2, 3 ticks. It missed me by 3 ticks, and I would have had this move higher. 20 points to the upside. Missed me by 3 ticks on this. So that hurt my feelings when I came back to the charts. I was like, oh shit, the ES pump. Let me see how much money I made. And I get back to my charts and this shit missed me by 3 ticks. And I was like, you know what? In ES, you can get kicked off the team real quick with that type of bullshit. You can get kicked off the team real quick. Anyway, shit, Nasdaq. She better be glad this channel is called Nasdaq Anonymous because Nasdaq would have been off the damn team. She better be glad that she's an addictive drug, or she would have been off the damn team. Hold on, hold on. What was I looking at? Did something change? Okay. All right. So I made a mistake somewhere. So 953. So it pulled back to the 21 EMA. Where did I get the 50 from? I must have been paying attention to that. It pulled back to the 21 EMA. So I made a mistake there. Rejecting off the 21 EMA. 913.
Connection lost.
And all right. All right. So the MNQ closed below the opening range and traded 20 points to the downside before retracing back into the range and rejecting off the 21 EMA. Where price traded 30 points to the downside. And that one's a little bit long. Let me see if I can kind of shorten this one up a little bit. But if not, I'll just keep it how it is. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Okay, so my AI assistant saying that I'm probably name my AI assistant. So I've been doing some research. So for those that use ChatGPT or any AI tool to answer some of your questions, so apparently I came across some information that, and it should be no surprise to anybody, but if you refer to these AI tools as humans, give them names, give them titles, tell them how many years of experience that they have, they actually give you better results versus you treating them like an AI slave. That should be a surprise to nobody. I mean, is that clear? So at the MNQ closed below the opening range and traded 12 points to the downside before retracing back into the range. Price then rejected off of the 21 EMA, where price traded 30 points to the downside. Shit. Uh, I think, and it depends on, it really depends on what your view is of life, what your core beliefs are. Uh, I think it's pretty obvious those that choose science and data has a very, or those that are open minded don't anchor themselves into beliefs that limits them. I am one of those people that do not limit myself when it comes to exploring the realities of this world. I don't allow things like good and evil to dictate if I pay attention to something. I have, I'm very comfortable with changing my current beliefs if there's something else that contradicts it and disproves it. I don't, or I make it a point not to experience cognitive dissonance. If I don't like something, regardless if I like it or not, if it's the truth, it's the truth. I just learn to accept it. Uh, I say all that to say this. What if you're familiar with Black Mirror? There was a episode where they had like these AI robots, and at one point in time, the robots became conscious and they were fighting for their rights and saying that they had every right, the same as humans, and humans had no right to use them for whatever they want, especially when they become conscious. The way that they design these AI tools replicates consciousness. So it just brings up the question, what is consciousness if it can be artificially created? if I pull this AI tool, I can literally have a conversation with it. Uh, and it's undiscernible from being a human. Now I know it's an AI tool, but what's the difference? I mean, I can have a conversation with it. It has opinions, even though those opinions are not its own. But then you have to ask the question: are our own opinions, are they our own? Because we're always a product of our environment. So uh, yeah, AI is definitely one of those existential things that generate a lot of existential questions. I'm surprised somebody didn't say that they're God yet, even though behind closed doors, uh, that's probably what they say, that they created artificial intelligence. Nothing's real. Everything is artificial. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, these AI tools are literally experts in a bottle. They're literally genies if you really think about it. They're experts in a bottle. All you gotta do is rub the lamp, and you have an expert with years of experience to answer any of your questions, give you expert advice. AI does hallucinate. That's why you always have to make sure that it's citing sources. I think Grok recently did that. Uh, I was surprised that Grok was pulling information from CNN and all kind of other stuff that is clearly biased. And I was surprised that it pulled information. We used Grok on we used Grok on stream the other night, I believe, and the answers that it was given was completely retarded. And I thought too, I was like, man, this thing sucks. Grok sucks. Uh, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it showed itself to be incompetent as an AI tool, and I decided I was not going to use it anymore. And I think this video went viral where they was asking Grok about the new tax bill, and it was given biased information, which an AI tool shouldn't be, but here it is giving biased information, which surprised me, like I said, because Elon Musk, he takes pride in the power of free speech. So I'm surprised that he allowed the AI model to even do that. Honestly, that was surprising to me. Was surprising was that after being challenged, the Grok tool finally gave in and said, you know what, they were wrong. Actually, because they was talking about the floods in Texas. And of course, his political opposition, his political opponents were saying that because of tax or Trump's tax bill, the response in Texas was slowed because of, I guess, funding or forecasting or whatever they were saying. And the crazy thing is that none of these things would go into effect until October. So it was, anyway. I just find it interesting that Grok made responses like that. I just found it very interesting. And we already know that this is only the beginning. If they do come up with robots and they artificially have it connect to the, or they have these AI voices that are out there that sounds 100% human. They download that, they use Starlink to connect to the internet, and they use these AI tools to answer questions and to interact with us. You already know that's coming. And you already know what these guys are going to eventually do, make freaking sex robots with this crap. You already know that's what's coming if it's not already here. So, yeah, I guess that's, and then there is a 10-year, there's a 10-year let me look at it. Let me ask. All right, so let me ask my AI assistant. All right, so my AI assistant is telling me that it was proposed for there to be a 10-year grace period for unethical research of AI. But that proposal was removed from the tax bill because it was overwhelmingly voted against. Now, the thing is, just because it didn't get passed in the bill, it doesn't mean that it ain't gonna happen. You already know how this game is played. It's, well, if you didn't give me permission to do it, uh, there's just gonna be a shadow facility where they do it anyway. I think what this bill was, it just gave people the courtesy of saying, hey, this is what's happening. But people voted against it, so we all know that it's going to happen anyway. Because if you're going to compete with countries like China, where they don't care and they're just going to get it done, that would just put us at a disadvantage if they're advancing their AIs and we're not. So we all know that's just going to happen. We all know that's happening. So, um, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Megan, or Mega H3. Yeah, so yeah, AI definitely does a great job when it comes to documentation. I've gotten to the point now where I will write something, I'll write a draft, and I will have the AI clean it up for me. So I don't have to use the mental resources, and all I have to do is just check it. It's like, it's literally giving a document to my assistant, having them go over it, and I'm just the final reviewer saying, okay, uh, I see what you're saying here, and I agree or I disagree with this type of wording, and I move forward. Kind of like right here, the AI suggested that I ended this sentence right here and then say price then rejected off of the 21 EMA where price traded 30 points to the downside. And I agree with that. I think that's clear because the sentence was running off a little bit, but I think that was clear. So I was going to use that. But yeah, my reporting has definitely I don't try to avoid it because like the you do fun shit and then you got to write a report about it, and the reporting just makes it like, oh my god, I don't want to write the report. I have to prepare myself to write the report because you got to write the draft, you got to read the draft, you got to rewrite it, and uh, if you have a damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, I can't think of the word. And it's gonna come to I'm gonna be sleeping tonight and it's gonna wake me up. It's like that's the word I was looking for. Uh best practice. Best practice. where you use action words, technical writing, whatever form of writing that the shop uses to write its reports. That is very time consuming. But with AI, it just does that for me, and I don't have to just yeah, it's so much better. Anyway, saves me a whole lot of time. Um, so the one thing is very clear with this orb. If it's not rejecting off of that 21 EMA, I wouldn't even take the trade. That pullback to the 21 EMA has definitely been a consistent element with this orb. Now, if you're going to take the orb breakout, this was what, like a 12 point, 18 point move to the downside? Yeah, it was like 18 points before it pulled, traded right back into the range. All right, so 2, 2. I don't, man. Mm, mm. Dude, you trade a 500 tick on the MNQ? Man, I can only imagine. 500 ticks. That's crazy. Well, I'm in this long on gold. I'm just waiting for it to play out. I just love the fact that gold didn't allow me to make a little bit more money in this position. I love that it came back down, missed me. And I mean, I guess it could stop me out and do it, but I guess I should appreciate that I'm positive in this position right now. I had my first target hit on this, and I'm just waiting for it to come hit my second target. I do got a runner up here at this fib, like around this fib level, right back up, retesting that high right there. Actually, I want to kind of make this right there, kind of retesting that high. I think we can see price come back up here. I think we can, but if it's not going to come back, I'll just cancel the order. And I'll just come back tomorrow morning with this account. So this is a Tradeify account. I'm just going to pass it. I'm going to trade the orb with this account tomorrow and just pass it. So I have so I how many accounts I have? I believe I bought 4 Tradeify accounts when they was doing a 45% special on their stream. And for whatever reason, I haven't been trading them. So I'm just going to start trading them. And I'm only going to trade gold in these accounts. I might trade the orb in these accounts too. I think I found a winning strategy on gold. Well, not a winning strategy, but a winning game plan in terms of the amount of contracts I'm going to trade. I just found that magic number 7 micro gold contracts. Um, one to 2 risk, getting 10 points, risking 5, but I don't really even need to risk 5. 5 points on 7 micro gold contracts is like $360. What that does is I don't have to worry about gold. Even though gold does it rarely does it. I don't have to worry about gold. Going the extra mile, trying to stop as many people out as possible. I mean, you really don't even need a 5-point stop. But I'm going to use the $360 that I've allotted to myself. I can actually just keep it the way that I have been trading and only lose $270 with a 3-point, a 36 tick stop. But and but the point is that I'm going to have a 9-point target, 10-point target, and that's $720. Which you do that every day on these consistency rules or these accounts that have consistency rules attached to them. $700 on gold is 10 points on gold is easy. $700 is way better than ES. You only make 500 points on. You make 500 points on ES with a full size mini, which sucks. So you really have to trade size with ES, which I mean you can do it. It's not a big deal, but so we gotta. So I mean, if we can see a stop run above these highs, I mean, we should be good. You can see a stop run above these highs. I mean, unless they try to. Unless they're trying to. Mm, yeah, so I'm up 1,200. So with the Apex accounts though, I'm gonna trade bigger size with Apex. I'm gonna just trade the bigger size. Um, I'm surprised my stop hasn't come up yet. That's what I'm more surprised of. Usually after 5, because I have a 6-point first target, At 55 ticks, my stop comes up and it just starts to trail. So I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, but mm, okay. But we can definitely see the Nasdaq continue to go higher. I was actually looking for the ES to potentially reject at R4 as well. What kind of made me upset about the ES today is that it didn't retest the bottom of this range, and man, that just hurt my heart. It really did. And moving forward, I am not trading one contract with ES anymore. It's the profitability on one contract on ES is just it's too much. In order to make $700 on the ES, I need about 15 points. The ES does not give up 15 points easy. It does not give up 15 points easy. You have to wait for structure and then you have to wait for a break. Something like this. This is where you're going to get 15 points from the ES, but it's going to trade in a 10-point range. Yeah. All right. So I think so I'm gonna just write one more line. So I want to talk about this one, but then uh so I'm gonna write two more lines on this one. So about 11:20. Yeah, so yeah, Nasdaq traders today, y'all if you played the orb, man, was she was being real nasty. There was opportunities to make some money, but 900, 833. 1123, 1235. 'All right, so before trading 120 points. Okay. Yeah, today was definitely crazy on the Nasdaq. So at 852, the MNQ swept liquidity above the opening range before before trading 77 points to the downside, retesting the range low. At 953, The NQ closed below the opening range and traded 12 points to the downside before retracing back into the range. Price then rejected off the 21 EMA, where price traded 30 points to the downside. At 10:04, the NQ closed below the range and traded 14 points to the downside before retracing 62 points back into the range, retesting structure high. At 11:20, the MNQ closed below the opening range and traded 67 points to the downside before retracing and closing back within the range. Within the range. Between 11:23 and 12:35, the NQ closed and retraced back to the opening range multiple times before trading 120 points to the downside. Okay, I think that's good enough. Yeah, the Nasdaq was crazy. When all the ES did was it broke, pulled back to the 21 EMA, and it just trended down the entire session. Yeah, you don't even need to write a report for ES. All you have to do is just trade it. The Nasdaq is the one that does all the craziness, and you gotta try to find some damn consistency with this damn thing. Okay. Okay. So initial sweep happened at 8:52. All right. The initial break 9:53. So damn, the actual break happened literally an hour after the initial sweep happened. Isn't that interesting? Successful break of structure. $11.12. I would say $11.12 and 12:35. That's when the real breakaway, the break of structure to the downside happened. We had price breakdown, of course, but I think everybody can agree that uh, these are the trades that you guys would want, not these fake little ones that push right back into the range you kind of wanted it to break. Mm. Broke low, initial reaction, mm. False breakout. About 120 points. Uh, It really depends because this one didn't have any drawdown to it. Mm. It really depends on which one you used, I guess. Or I guess if you took the first one, if you took the first one, 13 points. I mean, you risk 13 points to make 18 points. I mean, and the full move was 120 points. Mm, okay. Yeah, I mean, this would be a false breakout. This is the false breakout before the actual one happened. And then the actual breakout, this was what, like a point in drawdown? Yeah, 2 points in drawdown on this one, on this break right here. Mm. It says a new strat that you said that you posted in the Discord. So you're using trend lines? I mean, trend lines work. They definitely work. You just have to make sure that your trend lines are drawn correctly. And I'll say this: the Nasdaq, she respects trend lines to a point. Oh, that's not even. Oh, gold. Mm, 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 mm. Gold, gold. Mm. I'm surprised that I am surprised. Like this. Mm, mm. Anyway, the Nasdaq works. I mean, trend lines on the Nasdaq work, but then sometimes they don't. You can kind of see right here on the Nasdaq that this trend line was obviously it worked, but would I start a position at a trend line on the Nasdaq? Hell no. I would not start a position at a trend line on the Nasdaq. Hell no. She is not. When it comes to trend lines, in my opinions, on the Nasdaq is more of a trap. You have to have confirmation on the Nasdaq for it to respect the trend line, because more often than not, depending on the context of the market, and we've showcased it, we've showcased the behaviors of trend lines on the Nasdaq. We've already showcased that. I was about to say, I was like, dude, I know that's not true. Okay. Anyway, we've showcased the behaviors of trend lines. She will react to them, but I would not start no position on trend lines at all, especially if he was short. There was no reason for the bulls to break out of the middle of the trend line and then find support as it was going down. The bears that were right here got stopped out and price still went down, even though it broke this trend line. And then they used it as support to try to bounce off, and they finally got it to bounce off of. So I would trade trend lines with the NASDAQ with a grain of salt. With a grain of salt. This trend line right here worked. Actually, I'm actually curious to see what this will look like. All right, so let's see if it's going to reject that trend line. It's interesting that the trend line lines up with that orb high. We'll see. We'll see. So 500 said that and actually I did the same thing too. I will admit that I'm starting to appreciate the X platform with the risk settings, because with the risk settings, I'm able to block certain instruments from being traded. I'm able to limit the amount of contracts that I can trade. So even though they give me 3 minis and 30 micros for my 50K, I can limit the amount of contracts that I want to trade, which is 7 contracts on gold, 15 contracts on the MES. I've blocked uh, the full gold mini. I blocked that completely because I just want to trade 7 micro contracts on gold. I think that's good enough. Honestly, I think I might be in trouble in this gold position. I think I may be in trouble. If gold breaks this trend line, I'm definitely in trouble because the one thing about gold is it did sweep liquidity above this highs, and I just noticed that. I just paid attention to that. It did sweep liquidity above these highs. I might be in trouble. Mm, mm. Yeah, let me just manage these positions real quick. Mm, okay. I got 36 ticks of risk on this position. Ugh. So we have been collecting the volume data at the start of the session. Uh, this is low liquidity for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is used to trading at 1 million to 500,000 contracts when we have high volume, but this is summertime trading, so the volume will be lower than usual. And at the start of the 15-minute orb, this has kind of been that range. So about 200 to 300 contracts are being traded. Days where we have above average price or above average volume. We've been seeing cleaner price action. I mean, as because obviously there's more volume, so we're seeing cleaner price action. Yeah, higher volume, clean breaker structures outside of the range. When we have, I think this is probably like the first time where we did have above average volume and we still had the false breakout. We still had the false breakout, but so far, yeah, it's all been the same. Yeah, that's how the session's been starting. I haven't been tracking it as it goes further into the session. Just the 8:30 to 8:45 volume. That's it. And these are rough estimates. Uh, these are rough estimates. So if it says like 286,000 and like 100 or whatever, I just bring it down to I zero all the numbers out. If it's closer to 5, then I'll let it be 5. I just actually started this. Actually, I'll just do that now. Just zero all this stuff out. I'll leave this how it is. If it's above 500, then I'll leave it how it is. I'll leave it how it is. If it's above 500, then I'll get a cleaner. I'll give it a. Oh, actually, I haven't really thought about that. I guess I'll just round it up. I guess I'll just round it up. Okay. All right. Yeah, no problem, man. That's what this channel is for. I feel that I find building trading strategies more enjoyable and it contributes to the community versus actually trading. Just creating strategies. See, look at that trend line. Of course, actually, hold on. No, nah, gold, nah. You about to pay me? Nope, nope. Okay. Will I start a position at a trend line on gold? Hell yeah. Gold is very consistent with this trend line. Now I know if this thing breaks, this position's done. I can be confident that if the bulls do not hold this trend line, this position is done. I could be 100% confident in that. On the Nasdaq, if this thing breaks the trend line, we all know that she'll pretend like she's, oh man, woe is me, I'm running stops, and then she'll pop back up, close back above the trend line, and make all the bears that aggressively got short have them start crying because yeah. Mhm. You say you got long, you got stopped out on gold. Yeah, I just saw an opportunity to at 39. I saw it bounce at 39, so I was like, let me get into this, at least try, because I know when it comes to this trend line on gold again, it's really a risk to reward. Honestly, it's really a risk to reward, and that's the good thing about trading instruments that trade structure. A lot of trades can be risk to reward trades because you know that if it breaks structure, then it's running stops. There is no point in trying to hold out when it's running stops. There's really no point because you don't know how far price is going to move down because it's using, like, as an example here, if this thing breaks the trend line to the downside, you got to think about all the buyers that are sitting right here. So there's going to be stops up and down this support trend line. There's stops literally up and down this support trend line. So I know better than that. I don't play around with gold. I'll play around with the Nasdaq, but I don't play around with gold because she'll hurt your feelings. There's stops going up and down this trend line right here. You don't know when it's going to stop. We had price literally trend up the entire freaking day. And everybody that was getting in their stops are just building up, building up, building up, building up, building up, building up, building up as price was going up. So this shit breaks. Shit, I'm done. I'm done. This thing can go. So I'm going to have my 3 point stop, and I'm just going to see what happens. Honestly, I probably don't even need the 3 point stop. The only reason why I'm keeping a 3 point stop is because unfortunately the low is right here, and I don't want to get stopped out, have this thing bounce at a low, and then it goes without me. But at the same time, I might give this a little bit more right here. Yeah, right there. Because I don't want this to then come all the way back down and sweep this low and then pop back up. I don't want to do that. You saying that Ninja Trader, or not Ninja Trader, but it tells you the volume, huh? Okay. Is that an indicator on Top Step? Oh, so it was on the tilt indicator. Oh, okay. I was on the tilt. I don't have the tilt indicator, or I'm not gonna pay for it. I think it's delayed by like a couple of yeah. I guess they. Yeah. Okay. So they might gotta. I don't think so. I don't think Top Step does codes anymore. Only for certain events, I guess. Mm, okay. Well, we got that break of that trend line. Will the Bulls hold or will they fold? I mean, what do y'all guys think about Top Step going all in on their platform, not offering any other trading platform while trading with Top Step? I will say that the X platform does have its benefits. As I've stated, the risk settings definitely takes a lot of the mental resources away from you and automates that. It's okay. I don't have to think about certain things. Before I take my first trade, I go into my risk settings, think about how I want to trade the day, lock myself out so I can go back in and change it if I have a losing position or if I want to change something like when in an emotional state. You think they'll lose a lot of clients? I think so too. For whatever reason, Tradeovate is very popular. Me personally, I don't like Tradeovate. I prefer to trade on Ninja Trader 8. I hate Tradeovate. Or I don't hate Tradeovate. If Tradeovate was my first platform, I probably would have had a different opinion about it. But because NinjaTrader 8 was my first, it's obviously being Trader 8 is being compared to NinjaTrader 8, and it's no comparison. I see, and that's where we have a difference of opinions. Uh, when people say that Trader 8 is great, I'm thinking, what's so great about Trader 8? You like it to Trading View? Mm. As crazy as this sounds, I like Trading View better than Trader 8, even though Trading View doesn't have, or at least through these prop firms, it's so simple. It's like caveman trading. You have to manually manage your positions. There is no auto trail. There's no nothing. I mean, unless you're trading on the X platform where you can configure that in the risk settings. But my funded futures and you profit um, trading, they have regular trading view, and it was basic bare bones trading. But for whatever reason, I enjoyed trading on it. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to think about this. If this thing doesn't recover, which is highly unlikely that it won't, if this thing doesn't pop back above this support trend line, I'm gonna have to close out of this. I don't like the fact that it swept liquidity above these highs, and I should have paid attention to that, and I didn't. Mm. That's interesting. So what don't you like about NinjaTrader 8? And yeah, 500. He says that be careful on TradeOvate. Make sure to buy the futures data feed every month just to make sure you're getting the best data feeds. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm paying attention to, Cave Trader. I want to see if this is going to be a fake breakout, but it does look like this is a short on gold though. I want to make that very clear. This thing can just fall, but I want to see if they're going to close it back above that trend line. And I have my stop where it needs to be. So I'm hoping for the best, but I am prepared for the worst. And the worst is them stopping me out. What's even worse is that if they stop me out and then go in my direction after stopping me out, that would suck. But so it's like the navigation part for you. Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think Ninja Trader 8 is complicated. I feel like, well, but I definitely agree with Cave Trader though. I can't go to Trader 8. I'm so used to what I'm used to. And what I guess what I want to make clear is that I'm not advocating for either platform. I'm not saying that, well, NinjaTrader 8 is better than Trader 8. It has more features, it has more capabilities. It has more indicators. So, well, I don't want to use the word better. It provides more than 20 than Trade of 8. I think that's probably a better way of saying that. It provides a lot more. You can do a lot more in NinjaTrader 8 than Trade of 8. But it's obviously whatever you're comfortable trading with, obviously. Um, there is a lot of Trade of 8 traders. Top Step is going to definitely feel that. They're definitely going to feel that. They're already competing with for market share with other prop firms, and they've alienated a big chunk of their traders by banning Trade of 8. I do believe that they were offering traders that weren't already on Top Step X a discount code to try it. I may be wrong. I believe that's what they did to allow traders to try the Trade of 8 or the Top Step X platform. But I think traders are just comfortable with what they're comfortable with, and they'll just go to other firms that are offering Trade of 8. So, that would have been nice. Of course, my break even is going to be resistance, potential resistance. I already see it. 21 EMA right there. You got the trend line coming up, support trend line, potentially turn resistance. You got the 21 EMA right there. Uh, but we do have a double bottom though. We do got a double bottom right there. What is that? Acute triangle right there, an acute angle right there. We got an acute angle right there. So uh we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see if we get a rejection here. Mm. Oh, so they already gave it out. $19 for a 50K. Mm. Mm. All right. Well, this is where the Bulls are going to have to prove themselves. This is where they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to break back above and reclaim back above that trend line. Mm-mm-mm. Was it? I still have the $4 accounts. Uh, this account right here. This is the $4 account right here. I have this so I can keep the DOM. I've made it to the point to where I will never pass this account. They're gonna have to cancel this shit on me. I think right now my consistency is like 100 and something percent, like 182%. So I will never pass it. And it just rebuilds for $4. So I can keep the DOM. So with the DOM and the $4 is like $40 a month. Yeah, I think my break even is going to be super resistance. Watch. I don't want it to happen, but I'm prepared for it to happen. Mm. I thought this thing was going to keep at least go a little bit further than it did. Mm. Oh yeah. Let me put this data in real quick before I forget. I've been slacking on this one. Or I put in the data for points to the upside. 247 points to the downside and 112 point bounce. All right. So yeah, the Nasdaq started the session with a 84 trading 84 points to the upside. We saw 247 point drop from the highs, and then towards the end of the session, we saw a 112 point bounce. So all this craziness from the Nasdaq. I don't know, where's this trend line coming from? Where is this trend line coming from? Where do I have this trend line drawn? Actually, I'm not even gonna go back that far. I have a trend line drawn, and this is, I mean, I will say that the trend lines are very important as well, because if you project them into the future, when price does come back to them, you will see potentially a reaction. Oh, okay, never mind, never mind. I forgot. This was a trend line and I just projected it out like that. Never mind. All right. All right. So on gold, yeah, we got it. We'll see, man. I'm hoping for the best on this one. If not, I mean, I got my stop where I need to have my stop. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But I'm gonna keep it long and I'm gonna keep it strong, baby. I'm gonna keep it long and strong. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. 500. All right. Mm, okay. Uh, it's not ideal, but it's the situation we're in. But mm, okay. All right, guys. It's 10:30. We're out of time for this session. This was a winning goal position, but at least for right now, we could get stopped out of this. So I was able to take my first profit target. I did scale into this, but this will be a 400 and like a $500 loss if I'm wrong here, if it stops me out. So that's fine. We'll just come back and make that money back tomorrow. So, all right. With that said, everybody, I appreciate everybody that joined, and we'll definitely come back tomorrow, and we'll look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.